I want to take this off. Hey y'all, hey y'all. Thanks for tuning in to another Session 35 podcast tonight. Um, was we off last week? I can't remember.
We was. No,
Okay,
you
yes.
wasn't off. You did the special
Oh yeah.
last
I was
week.
in a play.
Representing us.
Kira, how bad was I?
You were
You
so
was not
good.
bad.
It was good.
You was good.
Girl.
I wanted to be like a proud mama. Go, Krista.
No, you was good. You had your little questions together. I was like, ooh, look at her.
Yeah, okay. So we are led tonight by Miss Kira. Kira got us getting into our spirits.
So we're
Deep
gonna be
into
talking
our
about
spirit.
soul ties, y'all. Wait, before we get to soul ties, have y'all ever self-diagnosed yourself with something?
Everything.
I
Girl,
am.
okay.
I am the queen
Ooh, you
of
better stop.
self-diagnosing
You better stop.
myself. Okay.
Ooh.
All
So
day.
I'm at work and my hand aching. Now I got arthritis.
Yep.
Ain't nobody told me
Google
I got
told you that.
arthritis.
Google.
Google told me that.
Girl.
So this is how we got on Soul Ties. I'm up here looking at TikTok. I see a girl telling me what's going on with her. Let me just say, she's not explaining what a
Okay.
soul tie is.
Mm-hmm.
She's just saying what she going through.
Okay.
So I done self-diagnosed myself with a
Oh
soul
my
tie.
God.
Don't even know what it is, right? But a soul
You
tie.
found your soul tie?
I found it right.
Mm.
So a soul tie is a strong emotional or spiritual connection between two people, from my understanding.
Mhm.
And most people say that I was looking up, like they always talk about a sex partner when they talk about soul ties, but it could be with a friendship, a coworker, or
Mhm.
even say pets.
Oh,
So
wow.
from my
Pets?
That's
I ain't
not
see
for
that.
us.
so I was looking it up, and so
I didn't see that.
I'm
I
just
ain't mean
about
to say that.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear you.
Good.
Good.
I didn't mean to say that.
Somebody caught it.
I know.
You know they did.
So here's just 5 signs of soul ties that I found. So it's constant thoughts, strong attraction, difficult moving on, and influence on life choices.
Mhm.
And I was wondering that, have y'all ever, I'm not gonna lie, I experienced that when I used to date a guy, and I'd be like, well, I ain't gonna do this because he might not think that's a cool thing to do. I never thought of that as a soul tie.
Because you caring too much about somebody
Other
else.
people's.
If it's that deep that you have to change or something you would do because of how somebody else may think or feel, that's a soul tie. And I think a lot of people misunderstand it too. It's not always a bad thing. Soul ties are not
Right,
bad.
It's not always
It could be
bad.
good and bad.
I saw
soul
that
ties.
pastor said that too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's good soul ties and bad. But
Mhm.
Maya, you said it's like spiritual soul ties when it's a good soul tie, right?
Mhm.
And then the bad soul
Gotcha.
tie is just emotional, correct?
Emotional or sexual.
Or say, oh, okay, or
I
sexual.
mean, it could be a good emotional and sexual soul tie. Because even when we talk about sex with
With your
people you're
partner, right?
supposed to be
With your
having sex
marriage.
with, yeah,
Right.
that's
Okay.
that deep, good soul tie. But something
Mhm.
you're supposed
So
to
that
have.
goes back to the spiritual realm of it.
Okay.
If you go back to the partner that you're supposed to be with, or that marriage, that brings the spiritual aspect into it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
If you look at it from the sexual realm, because sexual soul ties are the most popular ones.
Correct.
And so they say that it's because it's a natural hormone that's released called oxytocin.
Okay.
And so that's actually
Is that where the energy transfer?
that's actually a hormonal.
It's a
Oh,
hormone.
It's a
hormonal.
hormonal. It's a natural hormone that's often part of the reproduction process.
Okay.
And so it's often released when you have an orgasm. And so just like with STDs that you can keep passing on, keep passing on, keep passing on, every time you have a different sexual partner, you're releasing that natural hormone. And so you're essentially carrying that to your next partner and your next partner and your next partner.
And it keep going
So
on.
that's why those soul ties get so strong, because they might not even necessarily be from the immediate partner that you're having right now. You might still be carrying soul ties from previous partners. And I think that's what a lot of people, when we talk about multiple sexual partners, we don't really look at, we are really giving this person a part of us and releasing something into them as well that you're going to carry forever. until you get to that part where you're releasing that back out or you're going through that process of healing.
And I think the negative side comes like when people always think, when you think of soul ties, everybody thought it was such a bad thing. Yeah. I think that comes from a lot of people just constantly putting themselves in those toxic situations, and now you labeling it as a soul tie.
Yeah,
you know, it's like I said, it's not always just
sex partners.
Yeah, but it's not always a bad thing.
But some people don't believe in soul ties. They say it's just.
I know that's what it is, but I'm saying that
for an attachment issue.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like y'all to have so much toxic and bad situations from so many different people, you just start calling them soul ties, and it is that. But you have so much bad stuff, you forgot that there's good soul ties as well.
Most definitely.
So yes and no, but I think the good soul ties are going to come from healthy relationships. Correct. And then I think again that goes back to, in a relationship, that spiritual aspect of it, where you having like those faith soul ties, or y'all, tied by, some type of commonality. But when it becomes, and that's why I think because when you giving yourself to somebody in that way, like they taking a part of you taking a part of them. So that creates that toxic environment that we talking about if it didn't start.
So do you think sex is not in the same sense of having a good soul tie?
Not if it's premarital.
Okay. I don't think so either.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Because I was gonna say it's definitely good with marriage, because God intended it for it to be that binding situation. Yeah. Okay, yeah. 100%.
So do y'all think that's? So I was looking up another, TikTok or whatever, and they were saying, do you think that that's why so many people are unfaithful, because they have so many soul ties, and they're messing with so many people and carrying on, so they can't be faithful to that one person because they still got an emotional tie with another person? Do y'all think that?
I think if you didn't go through the proper channels of healing, and I think since you touched on that, it was multiple healing kind of remedies, I'll use that word, that were talked about when I was doing my research. But of course, the 3 that stood out to me was the one that I think I talk about the most on this platform, which is self-care. So if you constantly moving from partner to partner or relationship to relationship, yes, you are going to still be harboring things that may lead to you not being faithful. And it doesn't even have to be in a sexual sense. It could be mentally, it could be emotionally. If you haven't given yourself the time needed to really break or transition to another relationship, again, that's self-care, making sure that if it was an unhealthy situation, that you really cut those ties off to allow yourself to go through that healing that healing season. And then it talks about maybe seeking a higher power. So that's again when we get back into the religious aspect. So whatever you may, whatever spirituality you may, engage in, whatever you may believe in, just making sure that you seeking that higher power. Because quite honestly, if you really are involved in a true soul tie, you are going to need a higher power to assist you in really honestly breaking that thing.
And I was just about to say that. So you know how you set your mind up to say I'm mad. So you got in your head, you got your mind made up, because baby, that mind and that heart is something totally different. So when you got it in your mind that's the way your attitude gonna be, they said that's the same way you have to move with some of these actions.
Right, but think about it. What you just said, you got it in your mind made up. Where sex come in is that person being connected to you. They might still you say you done with them, but y'all still being
and you
sexual.
Gotta be mentally be knowing that man ain't right for you. So you gotta be, or woman, whichever, vice versa. You got to be made up in your mind that this is it. I got to move on. Like you said, sometimes you got to go to that higher power. Just reading these books and it ain't enough
to remove.
Yeah.
People, but didn't you say you seen some ways that they said?
So those was the 3 that stood out to me. It was actually a multitude of them, but those was the ones that really, I think, I'm not gonna say are the easiest, but I think those are the 3 that you probably want to start with. And really, I agree with Kira. The higher power is the first point. Because you can't, and I'm speaking from experience
for sure.
It's very hard to cut ties and stay
You can delete a number. You can block a person as soon as you say, "Oh, well, let me unblock."
Yeah, that's what happened. People get lonely and let that storm right back in.
Yes.
People get lonely and let that bad soul tie right back in.
Regular relationships too, though. It don't necessarily have to be sexual relationships.
It don't.
It can go with family members.
It can go with your best friend.
Things.
It can go with your spouse.
Being tired of something and being you trying to pray it off for you and you steady asking God to remove it, and then when they finally remove that person,
you like, what happened?
Yeah,
you don't even know what happened, but you done prayed this out of your life and you didn't even notice that was wrong.
So it's not always sexual.
It's not always sexual. It's good soul ties, bad soul ties.
So I don't know about no sage. She asked, can you burn some sage to get rid of
something wrong?
I don't know about no sage. You got Google it. I don't know. Google might tell you something weird and crazy.
So have y'all ever experienced a soul tie? Because now that I'm looking into
everyone has.
You think so?
I think everyone
before I knew it was a real thing and I started researching, I'm like, what is a soul tie? I thought I just had like a problem. I ain't gonna lie. I told y'all I diagnosed myself with everything.
I just had
I need a therapist.
Somebody just texted me earlier, yesterday when we said was bringing this up, and it was like, I had a soul tie. I was married for 21 years, and 20 of those years was unhealthy and unhappy, and that's a soul tie because they were so bonded with each other, but still unhappy, and that was a bad soul tie because not everybody you get in a relationship with, you're supposed to be your husband and married and whatever. So that was a soul tie she ended up letting go. But yeah, that's a bad soul tie.
And I do agree it can be with partners or friendships because I know Kira gave us 4 signs, but I got feeling anxious. So if you around somebody and you constantly feeling anxious around that person, overly dependent, and a lot of us know sometimes you overly dependent on your friends. Like you just can't be by yourself. You got to be with somebody.
That's a soul tie.
That's a soul tie.
That's a soul tie.
Like Kira said, dependent on making decisions. Like you gotta ask, oh, you think I should be doing this? Like you can't make independent decisions
on your own.
Jealous or possessive.
Yes.
And let's keep this in mind, even though as we saying this, because I am still on the other side of there's good soul ties.
They are.
Not everything she just said meant bad, because you could be in a whole marriage and y'all y'all are tied like that, so y'all have those conversations with each other all the time, and that's still considered a good soul tie.
But I think the key word is dependent. Having a conversation and being dependent and allowing your outcome to be based on what that other individual.
But that's marriage.
But in the marriage, it will
be that way, because I won't make certain decisions without your spouse.
That's compromise. So you gotta. The word is dependent. If I'm dependent on what you're saying in terms of how it's going to gauge what decision I make, then that means that I can't make a decision dependently on myself.
Because even with marriage, so when you do become that one and y'all been together so long and y'all become dependent on each other, that's just like certain things, your opinion really matters to me outside of what I didn't compromise that. So because sometimes that person, sometimes that person thought process may have rubbed off on me over the years. So I'm asking, and like I'm getting clarification. Like if I say, "Hey, should I do this?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Are you getting clarification because you just want them to give their opinion, or are you getting clarification because
that's my soul tie? We are really we strong. I could be, and you can be independent.
I want to know how they feel, what they think.
Listen to the question I'm saying. Are you asked? So again, that's the question. Are you asking them because you value their opinion, or are you asking them because you truly cannot make a decision by yourself? That's okay.
I think it's both in marriage. I think it'll be both. Because, for example,
so you can't think of yourself in marriage.
You can't think for yourself, but you
also right. But when you're married, you just
consider
you heavily. Saying. It's not the same thing.
Word. So in here, it's saying dependent, meaning I cannot make a decision by myself.
For example, if I'm laid up in a hospital, there's certain things I'm not going to do without my spouse being right there. It's just certain decisions I'm not going to make. Not that I couldn't do it because he was dead and gone. It'd be happening. Right. So it's again, not that I can't.
Dependent. You have to. The word is dependent. You're asking for an opinion, but you can make the decision. But you have a spouse, so you're considering what the spouse saying. Being a soul tie is when you are solely dependent. You are not making any decisions without some form of validation or dependency on that other individual.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't be involved in that. I guess that's why I ain't married.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you.
No, I'm very serious.
I mean, especially if your marriage is
But when
your
the
partner,
right
your soul tie. When it's the right person, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like I can't do this without you.
So that again,
It doesn't feel that
so
way.
it's not a dependent. Again,
It
y'all
is, but it
just
doesn't
don't feel like
it doesn't feel
But when
like
you
oh
take all
I
of
can't
the-
do anything. It's not
Yeah,
that.
What
It's just
dependency is. Dependency is like a child. A child is dependent on you. A child can't do anything without your say or you.
I mean, not totally of a definition, because if we talking about dependency in definition in total, I can't pay my bills without this job. I'm dependent on that damn job. But if I get fired, I'll figure it out.
So,
but I need that, and I'm making
right.
decisions off the cash they giving me.
Right.
Same thing with my spouse. I'm making decisions off what me and him talk about, on how we agree, how we think about it. All of that is it's combined in one. It matters in that way.
So at the end, you're really not making a decision.
So that's basically
without being dependent on them.
Once you
that
become
is
one,
a healthy one. That's what we
it's
said.
very healthy.
It's a healthy.
Once you become one,
because you really can't make the final decision. It's not.
Especially with you with the right soul tie.
Person. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know.
Because it's gonna be definitely. You definitely gonna feel. What's the word? If you with the wrong soul tie, you definitely gonna feel.
You're not gonna feel like you have to.
You're gonna feel control.
You're gonna feel like
you're gonna feel control.
Yes.
If you with the wrong soul tie, that's gonna feel controlling.
If you tell me no, it's
so it's controlling a soul tie.
Yeah, the bad soul tie.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So yeah, that's
that's
kind of deep. I'm up here thinking like, hey.
That's why it's like everybody, I think, don't really experience true love, because when you do,
I agree with that.
It's so hard to explain, but
it's a different kind of connection that you can't
explain.
Like, I don't know how to explain it, because if you explain it really deep down, then it's like, oh, it's a controlling thing, or they want to be in control, or they crazy, or they, and it's not none of that. It's just,
but I do agree that if you're in a right relationship, it don't feel like control. Just like I've said before, submission don't feel like submission. If you are with a partner, it's a natural thing.
Same way dependency.
That's why I said. That's why I said when you use the term dependency, when you depending on somebody, I think again, I would change the word, because dependency, I don't want anybody to feel like I can't make a move. I'm totally dependent on them. Like, that's not a level of control I want to release to anybody.
But just like you said, you couldn't use that word control in a relationship. Control wouldn't feel like control. You said dependency wouldn't feel like dependency. Same thing with dependency. Is that, but it ain't gonna feel like that.
I think it would feel like more like a compromising situation, not like I'm dependent.
It's gonna feel totally different.
It would be a compromising,
because you compromise in marriages, you don't even know you compromise it, because that's the soul tie. You so deep into that. You thinking for the other person, and you thinking like them a little bit. It's all entwined.
But again, you're not dependent on that person, like you said. You guys have become intertwined. No, you guys have become one. So y'all really have become one. Y'all thinking like one person in one mind.
You're right.
So neither person is dependent, because now we have become one. So that's what I mean when I say dependency. I'm not saying y'all not dependent. I'm saying when you truly become married, you guys become one. Equally yoked. So there is no reason for it to be a dependency, because y'all operating in one mind and one body.
So it's the same thing. I think the dependency word is triggering you, because it's really the same. It's triggering you.
Because dependency means,
because even with the other words you said, control. You said you can be in a relationship and have control, but not feel like control. How is that control word and the dependency word don't? Because that dependency triggering you.
It's not control. Control triggers me, because it's not a control thing in a relationship. There should be no control in a relationship. Y'all should operate as one.
It's just how.
It's really not control. I think at the end of the day, it's respect. It's respecting their feelings, respecting your feelings, respecting what they gonna think.
Right. So respect, compromise.
Yeah, but but you still totally dependent on them. Like she said, if you sick, you still can't make no decision without them. Like if
not even just because of the paper, you don't want to.
You don't want
it doesn't make you.
It don't feel right.
It doesn't feel it. You don't feel right doing it,
because y'all won.
Okay, maybe
a soul tie, of course.
I mean,
it is. It's a good soul tie, because you are one. I don't know. I don't know
other good soul ties than
anything
that's healthy. Well, I'm not gonna just say marriage because
Yeah, 'cause
every
that's all I
marriage
I just
hearing.
is
explained a
like
bad
that.
one.
I keep
I just
hearing
explained a
every
bad
marriage
one.
is
No,
like that.
that's
A
not it. I
healthy
just gave you a
marriage.
bad one.
Yes.
Somebody was married for 21 years
A
That's why I
godly
and
said a
divorced,
marriage.
but 20 of those years was bad.
A
So that's a
godly-
bad.
Okay.
A godly marriage.
Okay.
A
Yes.
marriage that's centered and rooted in spirituality.
Yeah, spiritual, emotional, all that connection is meant to be with one person. That's a good soul.
Or a
tie.
marriage that was just supposed to be. Like sometimes we married for the wrong
But see, that's all I keep hearing about good soul ties is just marriage. That's all I keep hearing. Marriage.
No, it's a healthy relationship. Like
a healthy
So
relationship.
even with yourself, correct?
Even with yourself,
Okay.
like
Most
things have
definitely
to be
yourself.
healthy. Anything that's non-toxic. And I think anything that
non-toxic.
anything that prevents you from being your true self, in my opinion, is not a healthy relationship. Whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship with your family member, a relationship with your spouse, if you are unable to be your authentic self, that is a very toxic situation, because at some point you're going to begin to resent that person, and at some point those toxic traits that we just talked about are going to show prevalent.
So I'm listening to another TikTok, y'all. So she's like, you know how say me and Crystal hang around each other every day, all day. You know how that time of the month come on?
Oh yeah, you being
Yes.
And then you'll be like, what?
Yeah.
Do y'all think that's a soul tie? Do y'all think that's
I think so. Maybe. It's
I
don't know.
They
but
said that's a
it's
soul
something.
tie because you're around each other,
They-
y'all friends, and y'all tied in.
I don't know
with
the
each
word
other,
for it, but scientifically, it's a real situation.
It's a
I
real
forgot
thing.
how it
What
works.
is that?
You become
Your
instinct.
your hormones,
I
your
mean,
hormones,
it's
whatever
the
it's
same with your
called.
daughters in the house.
Yeah.
My daughter,
Like
yes.
it go up and down.
It could be
you know?
strangers.
So
It
Because
I'm
all
can
of these
happen.
things go back to being chemically. It's a chemical. It's our
Yes,
body. It's our
it's
natural hormones.
Yeah.
So yes, if you are close, like same thing like what Jen just said, your daughters.
Mm-hmm.
At the time I was living at home with my mom and my sisters, like you guys are gonna be in sync because again, like we know, it doesn't always have to be sex. It just that close relationship. And you have a close relationship with your mom. You have a close relationship with your sisters. Close relationship with your friends. And I don't even want to make it seem like you guys have to be in the same house, because my group of really good girlfriends, like my cycle comes on 2 days after her.
See,
like legit.
Crazy.
And
it happens just like this. Like me and her just got back like really, really cool, where we like talk on a regular basis, hang out, and literally my cycle comes on. Like we like 2 days apart.
So I used to feel bad for not hanging around certain people that was always mad, want to fight, sad, depressed. And I'm like, I found myself being aggressive and like, what am I mad for?
Having those same
What am I
feelings.
mad for?
That
Yeah.
energy.
And I
The
removed
energy.
myself. And let me tell y'all something. I removed, and I'm
you
so
was
much.
lifted.
The
calmer.
energy. Yeah.
I would have
energy
never
is
thought
real.
that was. Yes,
It
the
is.
energy is real.
It's real.
And that's that tide. The
And you
ties
tied, yes.
bond.
You really start acting like a person. You don't even want to be this person. You have people jealous because you don't bond with another person. And you be like, well, what's wrong with this person? Like, what you mad for?
I mean, but when you grow, you change. So
I-
each time you
Please
grow,
say it again.
you change. So when you
People
change,
don't understand that.
somebody might didn't change with you.
What's
so
the part?
now
What is the?
it's like we don't really have nothing in
Yes.
common no
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
It
And
means
it's
it's
bad
okay.
blood.
And it's okay.
It's
It's
just we
no
don't have
beef.
anything in
I'm
common
just
anymore, and that's
growing.
fine.
It's okay.
A lot of people don't understand that.
I was
feel
just
like if
talking
you
about
start acting
that.
funny, you mad, you acting funny. No,
No.
I'm growing up. I'm changing my attitude, my ways. I'm trying
You're
to
not
progress.
interested
I'm
in
not
the same
interested in the same things no
Yeah.
more.
And
I
that's
was
where
just
you
talking about
you
that.
got to just cut those things off, because it does begin to weigh you down and becomes a part of your being. And like you said, it might just happen. You might not even realize
even
it. And then
realize
you look up
it.
and like, I sound, or I'm doing just stuff just like this person.
Yes.
And I don't want to
Most
be that.
definitely.
I don't want to be that no more.
I
I ain't supposed to be doing that no
know.
more. And it's a healthy conversation to have. I think in those instances, especially with your friends, and I know we touched on this before, that's just a healthy conversation that you need to have.
Yes.
It is.
Like I have
Agreed.
to, like, I don't like, and I know, Crystal, what you call it, toxic positivity. Positivity.
Oh,
I really don't
Yeah.
like
Y'all.
to be around people who always got something negative to say.
I don't
And
That's me.
either.
like I don't
don't.
want to be bothered with that. Like it's a silver lining. I'm so glass half full person. Like it's a silver lining somewhere. Like I can't constantly be around you and all you got to say is negative stuff. Like
Yes.
why?
Why?
It
We trying to have a
becomes
nice
out
time.
for all of that.
Yes.
You know, you grow up and you see reflections of, you know, you might even, I could say myself, I look back on Facebook status and I'll be like,
oh, I'd be so mad at myself.
Wow.
I was
I'd be like,
out.
if I just hit share, baby, my Facebook could be blown
blown
up.
up.
But I'm not even that person no more. So
You
it's
look
like,
at that person like, who the hell?
I'd be like, what was I going through? Like, what was wrong? But it's like, I noticed that that's what people feed off into.
Mhm.
So when you happy, when you don't have nothing negative going on, your light will shine. People will draw away from you.
But that's
not
growth.
to you. They come to you when it's negative.
That's how you
So
know
it's
growth
just
is
always
real. When you look at them
Yeah,
Facebook status and find out
girl,
who
I
wrote
be
this.
like,
So let me
I
ask.
don't even recognize the
What?
person.
Let me ask this question. Do you ever, and this can be from the perspective of a relationship, because I know me and Kira, we talk about this a lot, or it can be on a friendship basis. Like, do you ever think you get strong enough within yourself to know that there is some type of soul tie that may be unhealthy with that individual,
yes.
but you feel like you're strong enough to still be in the space?
Yes.
Yes.
You ever get to that?
Baby,
This morning
preach.
I had a whole,
Come on,
I ain't gonna even
baby,
tell y'all, I
preach.
had
I
a
be
whole thing
trying
in my
and I
head.
know it
but
ain't
then
right.
yeah.
But I don't want to
Yes.
disappoint the person
can't
because
do
I've been around them for years, and it's just like, oh,
It's a lot.
So do you really think that
A lot of
so
people think they can change the person and make
You
it into
can't.
a good soul
no,
tie.
let me say
Not
this.
change
Not
them,
change
but
the person.
grow.
But do
make
you
them
think-
grow.
Yeah.
Make
But
them
do you
grow.
think
But
that
that's
you get to
changing.
And you
know
can't make nobody
Yeah.
grow.
that it don't have an adverse effect on you? And so let me give you a scenario. And I know we always talk relationships, but I'm just talk friendship. So say you got a girlfriend, y'all are really good friends, but you identify with some of the toxic soul ties that you guys have with one
together.
another.
Yeah.
But you feel like, do you ever feel like you would be in a strong enough place to really be able to deal with that person and not have those soul ties attached back to you in a negative way? And then the same thing
And that's so hard.
with a guy.
Let me
Let's
comment on
say,
that.
let's say you was in a relationship with a guy, y'all broke. You went through your healing. So I did my healing, I did my higher power, I did my self-care. I feel like I'm in a strong person. Circle the black dude,
Ain't
come
no
back
circling
around.
Now
Do you think that do you think you ever in a strong enough place to be able to handle that individual?
No, because you
So-
shouldn't even circle the block. You're gonna get all them feelings right. The feelings never left. Actually, if you
Yeah,
circle the
it
block with
can't-
them.
Okay.
So
You
the
can't
first
backtrack.
part
Yeah.
you said, dang, I forgot because you gave me two pieces.
I wanted to do two different scenarios.
Right.
One
So that
scenario
first
with
one,
with a girlfriend, and then the other scenario with
strong
yeah.
enough to be
So
with
the
them.
first one, I think this happens. This is how a lot of women, men too, but this is from my experience, for what I know.
Men
A lot of
different.
women get themselves in these bad soul ties because you in this situation and you know it ain't good for you.
Yeah.
You know it ain't, and it's toxic, it's dangerous, it's all of that. But you so stuck with this person and you want to make it work, and you making yourself strong enough to deal with it, but you ain't doing nothing but you delaying your healing
Yes,
process.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're just delaying everything that's good coming for you because you know you're not supposed to be there. So why stay? Why
Yep.
keep putting yourself?
Why
through
keep
that?
going
So no,
saying
I
is
don't.
what we do
I
it.
don't.
So
Because
what
in
I'm
our
saying-
but we
mind,
do
in
it.
our mind, that's
But
what we want,
no,
and that's
but
what we feeling because
the-
we ain't supposed to,
But the question is, so you didn't did that. So you didn't left. Y'all didn't left. Separation, you didn't did your healing. Again, do you think it's always toxic?
What I just said that. What I say?
So with the man or the friend,
Either
Both.
one.
I don't think
Both.
it's gonna always be toxic, but I just think that once you heal from something, you can't go back to
And
that.
see,
That's
that's
what I'm saying.
hard.
People
That's
get
so
lonely and
hard.
open that
they
door
go back.
again.
It's like if God brought you from it, he
Thank
brought
you.
you from it for a reason. You can't look back.
People get
It's
lonely
like,
and let that
I
same
can
soul tie
still
right
love
back
you
in.
from
Now forget all
afar.
that.
I can wish you the best. I can support from not being there all the way there, but being all the way back like that, it can't go back because I feel like if it was meant to be, it wouldn't have never went that far.
So can you just so let's talk about it from a relationship standpoint first. So do you just mean it can it go back on friendship? Like me and dude broke, I did my healing, we ain't there no more. We meet up, maybe we run into each other. Do you think it could be like a friendship thing, or it can't be nothing?
It can't be nothing.
It would have to be nothing.
Yeah, they
think it
said you
can't
have
be
to cut
nothing.
all
You gotta
ties. It
cut
can't
all
be
Forever.
ties.
And that's what I'm just saying.
forever.
So even
Because that's why you got rid of that person.
Yeah.
and it should be the same for
Yes,
the friendship.
it should be
too.
the same.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's hard. That's what y'all.
And I mean, I
It's- but
I know, I
but
get-
listen,
Because
so
you be
with that, I think it's a difference between a friendship and an associate. you can make somebody your associate, meaning you can be there for them. But a friendship, that's a friend. But that's a bond. But once that soul tie is done, and it's like you realize all of the toxicness that y'all brought each other, and neither one of y'all are not healing as long as y'all together. If one person go heal, and I'm talking about friendships, and go be better and go strive and all this,
you want that for your friend,
but they didn't do it,
and they still
there. Yes. They still entertaining the same thing. So the only way I'm gonna have to be back is I have to go back to that place. I'm not going back. I'm not going back to no place.
Okay, that was
so question before y'all wrap that part up. So question on that: do y'all not think that people can change and y'all can circle the back?
Different.
So, because there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of people. It's not saying that you got to throw everybody away. I ain't saying that, and that's why I think women get messed up too. Because you be, I ain't gonna throw. No, throw that nigga away.
Some people
come back later, maybe.
Some people you don't have to throw away. You can store them. I have friends that store. You know when you need them, they really there. Them friendships matter too. This a person that you know they might can't show up for you for certain things. They might can't be there.
Right, because you got certain friends for certain things.
You understand all of that. You understand that they might want to grow. Yeah. They might want to be better, but they can't. Their situation won't allow them. That's a difference.
But
that's somebody you don't throw away.
It's them.
So, but it might be their situation. You don't know people's situation. So their situation might not allow them. So you didn't win over here. You can't carry everybody over here. Mm-hmm. But if you come to a place where you can lift them up, you can still lift them up. You still got them. Once they get their life together, you can allow them to get their life together.
So that's basically, there are some people out here that you don't have to discard all the way. But there is some that people need to get over to discard all the way.
So let me ask this question. Y'all know me, I be trying to get deep with the we got to break it all down. So, okay. Jen, I feel you. And again, we can talk friendship, we can talk relationship, whichever one y'all want to take. Okay. So Jen, we just separated. I done went and did my work. I'm feeling good. You come back. It looked like you done did your work, or it looked like we on the same place. So when I'm trying to identify if the work has been completed, do we feel like we ever strong enough where we're seeing through a clear lens and not through a clouded lens? Because again, this is somebody, even if it was a good girl,
somebody put that work in, baby.
No,
you can tell when somebody put some work in.
And let me say the reason why I'm asking this, because again, even if this was a good girlfriend, this my ride or die, this my ace bone cool. There's a level of love that you have for that friend. Right. So even and that love, if it was real love, it's gonna always be there, like we said. So we didn't part it. So
was it my friendships or relationships?
Both. Okay. Because again, you love dude. Y'all was rocking. Y'all still get that love ain't gonna go nowhere if you was really truly loving one another. But we realized we was in a toxic space. So I went and did my work. You say you went and did your work. So then when you come back, do you think the individual is strong enough to the point where they can identify, did you really do your work? Have we really removed some of them toxic traits? Or do I still have so much love for you that I'm looking at you through rose-colored lenses?
I'm sorry. For me, if God ain't telling me that man's supposed to be back, I ain't going back.
Okay.
Once you gone, it has to be gone. So it has to be a spiritual connection for me to spin that block back.
Okay. So what if the person don't have a spiritual?
I was a lesson for you to do that work. Some people are just lessons.
Okay.
So I may have been that lesson to. Well, I'm not back. I'm not back. I'm not coming back there if you're not spiritual.
No, but I'm saying what if the person don't have a spiritual?
Clear yourself. It's no going back. You ain't gonna even feel the same. It's not gonna be the same.
I agree.
It's not gonna be the same. You can try.
I mean, you go back. It might be better.
Unless it could be better. The work in.
That's my question.
It could be better, but I'm not
going. How do you really know? Because again, and I'm just.
I mean, you gotta tell by actions, right?
But are your actions? Are you gonna be able to tell? Purity, like are your lenses gonna be so clear and not fall?
You're gonna be able to tell if Tyrone got a job and got his house together and got a new thing. You can tell.
Only gonna be able to see anything until you do the work for yourself.
I agree.
And when you change then you gonna see all these people for who they really is.
That's
when
why
you change yourself.
That's why that prayer is so real. When you ask God to change your heart and to see the real.
That's it.
Because listen, baby, when I said that prayer, I lost friends. I lost a lot of people.
But again, I want to identify with the people that may not.
You got to be careful when you say that prayer.
Everybody doesn't have that
That's
relationship.
spiritual. Yeah.
So I just wanted to identify that. And that's why I asked you Crystal, I asked you the question. What if I'm somebody who does not have a relationship with a higher power, but I'm still trying to say,
It's
like,
hard.
is
You still
I'm
got to
trying
do the work
see.
and
You
change
still
yourself.
got to do something for
You
yourself.
got to do
You know what I'm
something
saying?
for you. Whatever you worship, whatever self-care you do, whatever you need to change you.
Because we can't tell you to have a religion. We can't tell you to do that. Yeah, you got to do what you believe and what works for you.
Okay. And so the self-care would then help me be able to identify, is this person really
good
changed,
enough
or is
for
this
If
person
you do the work,
or
you'll be able to
whatever.
see what's real and what ain't real in front of you.
Yes. And
your lenses will
that
become
praying for
clear.
stuff out of your
Yours
life,
wouldn't be foggy, so you will be able
it's
to
real.
see.
It's real. But when you put in that work, I'm not gonna lie. When you see somebody put in some work, have you ever looked at somebody on Facebook and just seen some like you said, some past stuff that they've been through, and look at them now and be like, look at that glow in her face. Look at what she's doing now.
Yep.
She look at peace. You can tell with some people.
What about
when
you
in
look
that
at yourself in the mirror and see that glow in you and that peace in yourself? Like you know yourself,
you
you
always
feel it
smiling
yourself.
and
like
you happy. It's a genuine
everything
happy
always
for
boils
yourself.
down to yourself.
What are some small indicators of bad soul ties? Like a lot of people, these are things that go over your head. And I was thinking about this, like when you're in a relationship, and I'm talking about relationships, not friendships, or it could be friendships as well. And you in a little bit of denial on certain things. Like you seen that post? It was a girl lying about what her husband or her boyfriend doing for her. That's small. That's a little denial, right? And that could be a bad soul tie.
Yeah,
it's a lot of denial. You lying to your friends about
I
don't know, little stuff. Those are like those small things that nobody's paying attention to. That's toxic.
But is that a soul tie with him, or is that just some type of insecurities?
No, if you in denial with yourself and you lying for somebody else, you soul tied.
That's for them. Because why you doing that to make them feel better?
Yeah,
you ain't doing that for yourself. Yeah,
you denial with yourself and for that person.
You lie to people to make your person feel good.
No, you try to make
yourself feel good
for that person,
but for them.
Oh, to make you feel good for the person,
or even with your friends. Y'all know you got friends who toxic as hell, and you ain't giving her the full blown truth because you probably don't want to hurt their feelings, or you don't want them to make you feel like, or you don't want to feel like you more, or make them feel like you superior to them.
I get that, but I don't know if I.
But see, that's how you know. But that's why
that's what I'm
saying. That's how you know that that's toxic, Crystal. What you just said. Anytime you gotta belittle yourself. Make them your
to be around those friends,
to be around people, then they not
being
for
your
me.
true self.
I can't be around people. I can't say how I'm
especially
really
if
feeling.
You know the person.
But that's why I said soul tie. Because why you still putting yourself in that situation?
That's why you know
what's so connected. Why are you so connected to
that? So I think I agree that there's some type of soul tie there, but I don't think the soul tie is presenting itself the way that you're describing it. I think what's presented in that is the insecurity that the individual
I would think
has.
That's more insecurity.
Now, in yourself?
No, I'm talking about if you constantly trying to make that person feel good.
It's not even the fact that you might withhold information. Like you might have something great happen to you, but you don't even want to share it because
that person could be
people
negative.
Gonna feel some type of way. I shield in a whole lot because it's like you already get looked at some type of way. So why we
so connected to that?
That's why do I want to be around or why do I want to be dealing with people? Yeah. I have to make myself belittle or not brag about what somebody doing great for me, or that I got a great husband, or that my husband not cheating, or that he not in the streets, or that he coming home at night. But you can't talk about those things because people feel some type of way.
So is that an insecurity in yourself, or that's not?
I think that's an insecurity
in yourself.
In the person.
No, I don't see that.
You don't think it's in
I don't think it's in yourself.
I think that's an insecurity that the person has, but I don't know that that's a soul tie. Not you. The person that you don't want to tell it to. You know that person has an insecurity, so you're not sharing. But I don't know that that's a soul tie. More so that you are identifying that this person has some insecurities, and that you don't want to kind of contribute to. So, like Jen said, you dimming down your light, but I don't know that I would necessarily call that a soul tie. Not that particular instant. There may be something that is keeping you drawn to this person that we could identify as a soul tie, but the fact that I don't want to share my information with you.
But that was a small part that I was talking about. A lot of people don't pay attention to. That's why I said it's real small. That's so small that nobody even paying attention to by being a soul tie, because you should not be. I should not have to dim my light around you as a friend. You know what I mean? You might be a bad soul tie for me because if I can't be my natural self, I I can't share my good news with you. You're not a good friend, and
or
that's
you
a bad
can't
soul
talk
tie.
about.
And why am I not
what
disconnecting
your man
myself
did,
from you?
Because they men don't do these things. So it's like you feel like, oh, I can't share that because it's gonna make them feel some type of way, or they gonna feel like you bragging, or you. So I
just don't never want to go through that no more, y'all. The constant thinking of and I'm just speaking from my experience when I had it, the constant thinking of him, the constant thinking like, well, dang, I wonder is he gonna call today? Or like, I wonder is he thinking about me? Or just I wonder if we could just break up, and I'm like, I can't wait to spend the block.
It's okay.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
It ain't always a bad thing.
Good for you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's bad.
Well, that's bad. So you got to make sure you put that in there, though.
Yeah, that's
but but I think then I would have to ask you. So why do you feel? What has the person shown you that will make you feel like they not good for you?
Because we done been dating for years. Why are we not in a relationship? We done been doing everything that a relationship do that we ain't supposed to be doing.
See.
So that's why we got not
we done messed around.
So now stuff that ain't supposed to.
So now that's on yourself.
Exactly.
I was about to say,
but that's a soul tie.
It is.
It is.
So again, that's back to. And that's
your
back to your
self-care.
Yeah. And I will say, I'm so mad. So I was almost a year into celibacy when I was going through my heal, because this is the honest to God truth. And people told me this, but I didn't identify with it until I did the celibacy. When you take sex out of so many things, the level of clarity that you get on so many levels is unreal.
Yes.
Like I almost hate that I even tapped back into that world, because now I gotta go through a process.
I said sex is poison. It's a good thing.
That's why that's the main soul tie. When it's toxic. When you know you ain't supposed to be doing it.
You know you ain't supposed to be doing that. But soon as that call come on that phone,
it's bad.
I gotta go, y'all.
And if you not, what I really need people to understand is if you not strong enough, because again, sex is so passionate, it's so hormonal, y'all giving so much of yourself to each other.
You're releasing that energy.
If you really not ready to,
that's why it's not meant to be shared with everybody.
Exactly.
It's not.
It's not meant to be shared with everybody.
It's powerful.
And the way sex is now, I mean, they doing everything. So you just doing everything with
y'all
everybody.
And y'all know I'm gonna say it again. I don't want y'all to I don't want everybody to think sex is a bad soul tie.
We're not.
It's a good soul tie too.
Most definitely.
You just gotta distinguish the two.
The correct person.
With the correct person in the correct timing too, because like you said, y'all didn't jumped all the way, y'all didn't jump to the bed now you didn't develop that tie, and then now you find out.
That's when you turn crazy.
Yeah.
You don't care before then.
This guy gonna
you
say
don't
on
really
his
care
TikTok,
before then.
He likes having sex with multiple women, unprotected, because he know he's creating a soul tie.
I saw that.
Those women.
And he snatches souls.
I saw. He's a soul snatcher.
Because women are very emotional.
And we are emotional, but
that's
why would you think that's cool? And that's why women go crazy
with everybody.
And I would say that's why I don't kiss. People think that's so crazy.
No, you're not the only person that said that. A lot of people say that.
I do not kiss. If I kissed you, I do not kiss.
I'm listening. So I understand that.
I think,
but I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I can. Yeah, I'm not kissing you,
but I can.
Yes,
just turn your head.
Yeah,
I'm not.
No,
you're not
touching me.
My soul is already. You got my soul now.
But I think
soul snatcher got her already.
He used to kill me. They say that I'm not
getting your soul.
Gave it.
But for me, and it might sound crazy again.
I get it though.
Now
what
you
you're
take me
saying.
to my girl Julia Roberts,
the passion behind kissing somebody is so much greater than. For me,
really?
For yes,
yeah,
for
I mean,
me.
I get it.
Like we can bang.
Where he kissing?
In my face. Like I don't tongue. You can't kiss my face.
Yeah, I don't understand who.
You can't kiss my face.
I don't know.
We can be in a full.
Like she said, with marriage, it's
that's a good. It's good.
It's the level of passion that kissing brings for me.
But the level of passion with sex too.
Well, that's a different topic for a different day, because there's certain levels of sex. So, but
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. You're right.
So I saw somebody in the comments that said sex is a good soul tie only in marriage.
That is very true.
That's true.
Yeah, we said that.
I agree.
And kissing elevates. It take it to like, I'm not kissing you. Don't even try. You'll be mad.
I think that's a woman thing. And for me, I think a woman thing is emotional when they say that. And I think for men who say that, they just like, you're my girl.
Definitely
I ain't
emotional,
kissing you
because
in
if
the
I'm
mouth.
kissing you, I'm loving you. Like we didn't crossed over. Like my emotions is in it at that point. If I'm not kissing you, there's still a barrier. I mean, I might like you, but the level of emotion has not elevated to that place where I might cut you. I might cut your ass.
I'm loving you.
Yeah,
I'm not sexing you if I'm not loving you.
I wish
and I know everybody not like that, but it's
you say if you what?
If I'm not sexing you if I don't love you.
Yeah.
So I'm
because every man don't know how to hit that spot anyway.
I mean,
a true man don't hit it to the spot where you soul tied the hell in.
And
let's be real.
That's true. Like I'm not gonna get to the point where I'm gonna say loving, but if I mean,
it gotta be some
type of
man
giving it to
you.
Like,
okay, I'm gonna
take
love.
It better be a strong ass light.
It's gonna be a strong. Exactly. It's gonna be a strong light. My heart gonna be thumping.
Yeah.
When I see you, my heart is thumping.
That's what I'm gonna say.
But a strong light.
I'm gonna rewind. I'm gonna say love.
All right,
my heart gonna be thumping.
It gotta be.
But other than that,
so let me rephrase that because I ain't
no
just.
proof.
I gotta be liking you to be intimate with you, but it gotta be more than like for me to be kissing on you.
Okay.
Yeah. We gotta be almost at the altar.
I definitely understand that part, but y'all are crazy.
I know. I think that's so crazy.
It is crazy, but I get it.
It's very serious.
It's so crazy.
So y'all say soul ties is a real thing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Because I thought I had to go see my.
No, we got a couple more minutes.
No,
but
you
should
go
and
you
should anyway.
And you should.
Kira, I'm telling you, see one anyway.
And she still self-diagnose myself with everything.
See one anyway.
And it ain't that hard to self-diagnose a soul tie.
Yeah, it's
not.
It's much.
You gotta be real with yourself.
You gotta be
real.
with yourself.
First thing to it.
That's the real one right there.
You gotta be real with yourself.
But you know
what?
Keeping it up to the big man a bit above, and it's been going good.
And it's harder to break it. And I think it's so much harder to break it is because, again, it can be multiple levels from multiple different people. A soul tie doesn't really have to be again with that one person that maybe you just broke up with. You might still have a soul tie with dude from 6 years ago. Like, so you really gotta do that work. And again, we're not just saying soul ties in a relationship, but again with those friends. At the end of the day, protect your peace. If it feels toxic, then it's something ain't right with it. Something identify
and I'm gonna be that person. It could be something with yourself as well.
It could be something
a lot of people have something going on the inside and try to project it. I was definitely that in my marriage. I was like, it's you. It's you. It's you. It's you.
It really is you.
I was saying it was him. Like it's him. It's him. And then I find something that was about me. Like I'm saying, I'm not allergic to finding things about myself.
I'm not.
So when I found out it was me on the part,
people telling me.
Yeah, I'm not allergic.
I'm not a person who.
Yeah. So when I found out it was me, it was like,
I'm like,
that part was me.
Hey.
So how did you find out it was you, Crystal?
By listening and conversating and talking and then hearing different views. This is why I like doing this, because I ain't gonna tell y'all what it was, but it was one time we were all at that kitchen table. Somebody said something, and I was just like, and I promise you, I fixed this since then. It ain't fixed, but I just was like,
identify.
Well, I think
I that about
I think with me, I think for me and what I found as I talked to like my different friends as they kind of going through seasons, for me, it was really like I really sat with myself, and I found that so many people have a hard time like
being
really sitting to yourself. Like you can't hide from yourself.
You cannot hide from.
You cannot hide from yourself. Like even though, and I think again, my friends would tell me certain things, but even when my friends would tell me certain things about myself, I heard you and I might identify, but it wasn't really until I sat with myself
I think, though,
that it clicked.
I think a lot of us don't have the time to learn ourselves.
That's
you don't,
but you got to make time,
right? But I'm gonna think about myself. I'm gonna say me. I didn't really get to learn myself until I got the time to learn myself. When you become a mother early, your life start immediately. So now you have to think about them all the time. So
I agree with that.
You don't get to learn you. Everything is about your kid. Everything is about what making somebody else happy. So when I was able to disconnect and all that, it was like, oh, well, let me see what make Jennifer happy.
Yes.
Let me stop trying to make everybody else.
And that is 100% true.
And only do what make me happy.
Especially.
And when I did that, everybody was boom, 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 boom. Because now I only care about what make me happy. If it didn't make me happy, I let it go.
Especially if you was a teenage mom.
People say,
you don't know yourself.
You don't know yourself.
And
that's why I be asking all the time, like, y'all let me
don't
rush
it. Don't rush
choke
into
my
sex.
daughter out.
Don't rush into having babies.
None of that.
You know, because
you're
you
not
really
ready.
have to have time, like you said, Jen,
you have to
know
be ready.
yourself.
Very true. I was very late.
Yeah, I think for me, when I learned like you said, Maya, I started being to myself for a while. I was getting so many calls like, what is you doing? Like, you acting fake or what? No, I'm going through something. I'm tired of going through the same cycle. Have you ever just repeated a cycle?
Repeatedly.
Something wrong with me, like you said, it's me.
Y'all saw that commercial.
I had to work on me.
The commercial.
And you know how many people used to talk about me when they used to call me like, "What you doing?" I'd be like, "I'm at dinner." You at dinner with who? By myself.
Okay, I would go to a bar.
But I used to be at first. I felt like I said, "Oh, this make me look like I'm real desperate. I'm real lonely." Like because
always meet people.
I have so and now even listen. I don't even be trying to meet people.
You don't.
No.
Just be.
But I sit there and I have a good time.
A good
so
girl,
like
baby.
remember, like you said, when you was a teenage mom, you really didn't have that chance, right? So yes, that's how it was with my kids. But I am not gonna hold you. I didn't learn myself until way after MJ. I think homeboy was like 7, 8 years old before I actually sat in myself and learned how myself. I started taking myself on dates. I know people was looking at me sideways like she got a husband. Shut up. I had to figure me out because you know why I started doing that. And I was dating myself, and I'm gonna tell you why. My husband was a midnight worker. He was gone a lot, and I had to find some time for me. So when I did that, I found that my marriage got a lot more stronger because I had to learn myself. And then of course, also even after having the little one, homegirl took me through some postpartum. I learned myself through that part of it because it was so much mental draining, and it was so much I had to pray for and fix and work on. Baby, you don't know yourself until you sit with yourself.
You got.
I moved out of town
peace.
when I moved to Tennessee, and it was just like it was nothing to do. It was just me. The kids was at school. Corey was at work. It was just me. I had to just be there, and I learned what I like. What I like to listen to, what I like to do, everything about me.
And that also helps you in your relationships and your friendships. Because if you don't know what kind of friend you need, how can I tell you what kind of friend I need you to be for me? Same way with a relationship. Like if you one of them friends that don't like to travel, so how I'm about to go out here and get a friend who want to travel? Or again, what I always have to say, like with friends that you travel with.
It's okay to have multiple friends.
Right. I'm the friend that if we go travel, I'm probably just want to lay on the beach. I ain't really trying to for real turn up. I just want to relax. But again, you need to know what
type of friend you are,
who you are, so that you know what type of friend.
So you won't waste that person's time.
And the same
I'm
way.
the friend that ain't going on a girls trip because I just don't like it. So I don't need nobody being mad and being, oh, her man don't want her to go.
I have not had a good experience.
I don't want to. When I go to bed at night, I want to lay next to my man.
That's your preference.
That's who I have fun with. That's my bestie. That's who we be at.
And I think that ain't nothing wrong. But then also with girls,
I definitely wanted one. I never got a chance to experience it.
You gotta know. You can't like. I have friends that I love to death, but I wouldn't go on a trip with them. I wouldn't take them on a trip.
I mean, it just show you
because
you always hear them horror stories anyway. I don't want to be a part of those. I mean,
everybody don't vacation the same. Everybody don't eat the same. I'm picky. I want to take a nap.
It would be her.
It would be me.
It would be her. I see it. She'll be the one. I said no. I'm not going on.
I don't want to do that. I ain't
she'll be the one on the girls trip.
Go in the club. I ain't getting up early to go to
brunch. I am not getting up early to go to brunch.
Nap, baby. I'm on vacation. Okay, I'm getting a nap.
And I'm telling you, one of my good friends, I went on vacation with.
And I want to eat chicken all the time.
I do want to eat
chicken.
I'm
doing her.
I want to eat chicken all the time.
Anyway, Kira, you finna close it out. What show closing up this whole time? Shit, crazy.
I want to eat chicken too, low-key.
Oh my God.
They need to come up with another animal.
Now we fought in Miami. I'm done.
Look, we
gotta talk about
girl, because they won't.
And
I go to sleep at the club and get us put out because my bedtime 10 o'clock.
I can't. I cannot with the taco. We need to know. We gotta. That's gonna be story time next week. I need to hear that part.
Y'all out of control. There are good and bad soul ties, and it does not always have to deal with a relationship, but. Being from a person that's still healing, because like I say, I always say this, I don't believe a person can fully be healed. It's always going to be something that you look back on or something to work on. So just focus on yourself, keep pushing through, and just, if you know it ain't good for your soul, like the lady said on TikTok, don't put it in your hole. We podcast on Wednesday.
Not her.
I don't even know what to say after that.
Don't put it in your hole.
Man, cut us off.
Oh my